How about it, Hank? Should I let you go?
Where is Hank?
We're a family!
Each week we break down another Breaking Bad episode in order. And now for the episode many of you have been waiting for over a year. With a perfect IMDb rating and often considered the finest episode of television ever created, it's Season 5, Episode 14, Ozymandias. But nothing's perfect, and this episode is no exception. We'll talk about the mistakes, behind-the-scenes details, things you won't be able to unsee, trivia, and nitpicks. I've got 75 details you might not know. We'll have to wait to see how last episode's shootout ends because we're in a flashback. We're back to the pilot for their first cook, and the change in tone is palpable, almost like we're watching a sitcom.
What's next?
Wait.
We don't got like 8 more anal things we gotta do first?
Walt looks pretty convincing, but Jesse's aging is undeniable, and his scorpion tattoo seems to have crawled up his hand a bit. If you're wondering why Walt's shirt doesn't match the iconic pilot scenes, it's because that was the second cook. It does match the first cook, although maybe it has faded a bit, but you're not fooling me with those newly Invisaligned chompers. Even though they have an RV set, they filmed all these interior shots in the real RV while parked in Tahajali, and it is the same one used earlier. The one they destroyed was a non-running shell they bought specifically for that episode. Vince originally wanted a more unique-looking RV and fell in love with one from the 50s, but they went with the 86 Bounder because it was easy to find duplicates. Now you might be asking, if they used the original RV, where are the bullet holes? Do you see that little bump? They covered the lower half of the door with a new panel both inside and out. It actually looks better than in the pilot.
No. Not in here.
Duh. Like I'm an idiot.
Yeah. Like you're an idiot.
Dick.
The point of this scene is that we see Walt's first lie, and that he has to practice it first.
Got a stick up his butt? Is it got a bug up his butt?
The amazing clouds were all real except for this shot. They digitally added those. This is also the only shot where the sun is shining on this side of the RV, causing shadows to be cast on it. During the phone call, the sun and clouds reveal that this was filmed over a much longer period of time.
Hello?
Hi, honey, it's me.
Compared to Season 1, Skyler's hair is too short. Also, the fireplace art that has been missing for all of Season 5B is missing here, but it was there in the pilot.
I'm gonna be late tonight. Bogdan, he's got a bug up his butt.
Well, that's okay.
You could take pity on us and bring a pizza home. They're having a 2-for-1 at Venetia's. At this point, I could eat a whole one by myself.
Remember, back then she's...
A hungry pregnant woman.
What's that sound?
I just sold your favorite piece.
A hideous crying clown.
Although we don't see the crying clown in the pilot, this is a callback to Skyler selling figurines.
Yes! 56! Oh,
I got $9 more.
more than I paid for it. In 50 or 60 years, you'll be rich.
Except for the Charlie Rose segment in the next episode, this was the last thing they filmed for all of Breaking Bad, 2 months after they filmed the rest of this episode. That's because they needed Bryan and Aaron to shave their facial hair. Bryan's wearing a wig though, because that wasn't enough time to grow back his hair. Anna's part was filmed with the rest of the shoot, actually right after the dramatic fight scene in their house. Jesse playing with a stick is a callback to Shotgun. It's probably the only comic relief in this episode. There's not even a Saul appearance. Originally, some of Aaron's moves were too cool looking, so they asked him to dumb it down.
Hey, what do you think about Holly for the baby's name?
Do you like it?
Yeah, it's nice.
Just feels right, you know?
This is arguably an unfortunate mistake because they didn't know the gender until the next day.
Girl. You sure?
You could say they were talking about choosing Holly if the baby were a girl, or that they viewed it as an option for a boy, but I'm not getting that sense.
Holly. It's growing on me.
Yep. Me too.
I believe they shoehorned the Holly reference in to provide some symmetry as the episode beginning and end reference her.
Love you.
Love you too.
The fading out is pretty haunting and adds to the sense of impending doom. Is this 5 seconds of gunfire the entire shootout when not in slow-mo? What do you think? Right after the opening theme, this first shot almost exactly matches the previous shot shown in the teaser, and Jack's crew fades in the same way previous characters faded out. The amount of blood on Hank's hand keeps decreasing with each shot, but some of that could be expected. There's the first gut punch, R.I.P. Gomi. Although everyone kind of glosses over it, at least Dean showed he cared in this footage.
Steven's on the
What?
ground.
Steven's on the ground?
Steven's on the ground.
Oh.
Flying.
They added a fly noise here. Must every dead body instantly attract flies?
Whoa, simmer down there, Sparky.
Hey, Uncle Jack, I don't see Jesse Pinkman. He was right here before.
Pretty good eyes on Pinkman?
Jack, these guys are DEA.
The last time we saw Walt, his glasses flew off, but they're back despite him being handcuffed behind his back. I guess I was on to something with my earlier flying glasses bit. I'm a little surprised he waited that long to pop up.
No! No!
Don't kill him.
Back it up.
Don't
Come
kill
on.
him.
Hell, not. He's DEA.
He's family.
Say again?
He's my brother-in-law.
Didn't cross your mind to maybe tell us you had a DEA agent for a brother-in-law?
I told you not to come.
Seems to me we did you a solid.
You weren't supposed to be here.
I don't know about an accent, but this line does sound weird.
You weren't supposed to be here.
Did they mix it in after the fact? Yeah. That's done quite a bit in outdoor scenes.
How's about you tell me what was going down out here?
There are some weird artifacts from trying to remove Gomi's breathing.
It doesn't concern you.
We just wasted his partner here and he's wearing a bullet. So yeah, I'd say it does concern me.
This is between him and me.
No cavalry coming?
You bet your ass the cavalry's coming.
No. Jack, no. God. Hank, you can walk out of here alive if you just promise us that you'll let this go.
Sorry, man. Just no scenario where this guy lives.
No. I have money. It's buried out here. It's $80 million.
So that's what got this party started, huh? But this money of yours won't do me much good in prison.
You can have any future that you want.
That spit is so distracting. Good thing it's not in later shots.
And all you've got to do is let him go.
That's a hell of an offer. What do you think, Fed?
It's Hank. His name is Hank.
How about it, Hank? Should I let you go?
My name is Asac Schrader. You can go fuck yourself.
Hank, you gotta tell him now that we can work this out. Please.
You want me to beg? You're the smartest guy I ever met.
That echoes one of his first lines in the series.
You got a brain the size of Wisconsin.
And now it's one of his last.
You're too stupid to see.
Check out the episode time when he says this.
He made up his mind 10 minutes ago.
There's also an interesting connection between Hank's line and Ozymandias from Watchmen.
I figured it 35 minutes ago.
On the DVD extras, it's so weird to hear him deliver this iconic line differently.
You're the smartest man I ever met. You can't see? He made up his mind 10 minutes ago. Do what you're gonna do.
His death is once again the same shot that ended the teaser. And now, for one final performance, I present to you Hank Capella.
How do we say goodbye to what we had? The good times that made us laugh outweigh the bad. I thought we'd get to see forever, but forever's gone away. It's so hard to say goodbye to Hank today.
You can go fuck yourself.
They got footage of Hank where you could see the bullet hole in his head just in case, but they had no intention of using it. Although it sure doesn't look like Jack was aiming for his head. This wasn't the reason, but killing Hank now freed up Dean Norris to star in Under the Dome, and reunite with Kara.
Our best guess puts the dome at 20,000 feet, sir.
Please don't tell my dad.
Although Dean did originally ask to be killed in Season 5A, since splitting the season prevented him from landing a role in a sitcom.
You're going on to CBS where millions and millions more people will see through your inadequacies.
They shot this at 48 frames per second so they could slow it down, and the cameraman had to do the motion without being able to see the result because the sun was flaring out the viewfinder image. To make the ground crack like this, they had a plate under the sand with wooden pieces that blasted apart with a pneumatic mechanism. It's kind of unrealistic, but not the most unrealistic thing in Breaking Bad. Walt falling in stages purposely mirrors the fallen statue of Ramses II, which inspired the Ozymandias poem that this episode's named after. It's about a fallen empire and the ego of its former king who wants to be remembered, a clear parallel to Walt. Director Rian Johnson had the idea for Bryan to read the poem for an AMC promo, which ended up being used for the Season 5B premiere.
My name is Ozymandias, King of Kings. Look on my works, ye mighty, and despair. Nothing beside remains. Round the decay of that colossal wreck, boundless and bare, the lone and level sands stretch far away.
The Remember My Name tagline was also based on this poem.
This here? Pretty specific directions. That fancy phone of yours, where does it say this is exactly?
You thought I wouldn't see you hiding in front of the shattered glass?
Look at this, they even brought a shovel.
So this is it right here.
This is quite unrealistic. The coordinates are only accurate to the nearest second of latitude and longitude. At this latitude, I believe it points to at least a 324 square meter area, although the math is tricky. Also, in real life these coordinates point to the Breaking Bad studios, but that's an intentional Easter egg done to prevent treasure hunters from trespassing on this private land.
Jesus. Hell yeah!
Don't be fooled by that one bill in the front. There's for motion picture use only throughout this, even on that 10.
What are you waiting for? Yeah, boss.
Hell yeah.
Todd just convinced his uncle to do this.
Pull a barrel out the truck, load it in the Chrysler.
That's like 10 or 11 million right there.
You gonna make me say it again? Jesus, what's with all the greed here? It's unattractive. Hey. Hey, I'm leaving you a barrel.
Sorry for your loss.
Walt's face is dirty and his pants are dirty, but that's a pretty magical jacket to be able to stay so clean.
My nephew here, he respects you. He would never forgive me if things went another way. No hard feelings. We square? Hey, man, I gotta know we're square. We're gonna have to go that other way.
Is Jack missing his thumbnail? Walt's making a deal with the devil.
Pinkman.
This is equivalent to Jesse calling him Walt last episode. He's only called him just Pinkman to his face once.
This is very shoddy work, Pinkman.
Although he's said it 6 other times.
Pinkman? Forget about Pinkman. Pinkman says. If Pinkman is gone, stay away from Pinkman.
Thanks to Sayaka Mizono for digging these up.
Pinkman.
There's the 9th and final time.
You still owe me.
If you can find him, we'll kill him.
Found him.
That pit didn't seem to be there last episode.
No! Get off me!
Oh.
Good to go?
Hey, Uncle Jack, he was out here with those feds. Shouldn't we maybe find out what he told them first? I mean, I could do it. And then, we'd take care of the job after that.
Do you think Todd already had the idea to make Jesse cook and just didn't want to say it in front of Walt?
Work for you?
Jesse Plemons thinks so.
Todd saves Jesse because he realizes that there's no way that Walt is going to help him get the purity up. So I think it really is the next best thing.
No!
They had to move everyone to a different location for this part because they lost the light in the original spot.
I watched Jane die.
Is that a sincere confession?
I was there, and I watched her die.
Nope.
I could have saved her, but I didn't.
Anyone still on Team Walt after he twisted the knife? He did this because in his mind, Jesse is the reason Hank was killed. It was always the plan for Jesse to find out about Jane somehow, and Vince originally wanted Mike to somehow figure it out based on him noticing that Jesse's apartment had been broken into in his very first scene. The other writers talked him out of that. This was one of the rare times it wasn't windy here, so they used a wind machine to blow the sand around. As I was pondering whether the NZ was an Easter egg, I stumbled across the fact that this license plate is the same as Combo's. Back to this shot for a 4th time, and along with his car reflecting the sun, Walt's left standing in the same spot where the RV was parked. Boy, did Jesse's plan backfire. I guess Gomi was right.
Kid's got an idea.
That kid? Timmy Dipshit there? Okay, genius, what's the idea?
It's ironic that Hank was willing to sacrifice Jesse in his plan, but Jesse's plan ended up killing Hank. We're 18.5 minutes into the episode at the start of what's called Act 2, and we're just now getting the on-screen credits. There are lots of rules about the credits, including the need to be in Act 1, but the show felt it would be too distracting to flash them over all the drama.
Do what you're gonna do.
As Vince puts it,
I think it's the greatest act of TV ever.
Fortunately, they got approval from the Directors Guild of America to break the rule. It probably helped that director Ryan Johnson had just won a DGA award for the 51 episode. The first 3 names appear normally, but when it's time for Dean's name, there's a pause. Walt looks at the burial spot, and after a moment for reflection, there's his name. That's a cool tribute without being too on the nose. Jack's crew did a great job cleaning up the crime scene, which I think explains why the DEA couldn't find the bodies. For the second time, Walt has a mark of Cain, which fits due to his role in Hank's death. In the close-up, the contents of the mirror were digitally added. You can see a few signs of this, such as the missing sensor that caused that mark of Cain. They were going to have the money dumped into the car because they assumed the barrel wouldn't fit in the Chrysler, but it did. Not in the trunk, but in the back seat. Those are some freaky reflections. Good job actually rolling the barrel.
It's a barrel. It rolls. Jesus.
He also figured that out in Buried. They made sure to make those barrels heavy in that episode, but this one looks pretty light. Considering how heavy
$500,000 in cash
was, this is 22 times that. There are the pants that flew away in the pilot. Walt is meant to be like a dung beetle rolling his possessions. That kind of looks like a film artifact, but it's an intentionally added flash because it was too difficult to see where Walt was without it. That's Saginaw Grant, actor, musician, musician, speaker, dancer, Marine, and hereditary chief of the Sac and Fox Nation. He passed away in 2021. There was a stray dog that kept getting in shots, and Moira, the writer of this episode, kept him and named him Tiger.
That truck belong to you?
It does?
I'd like to buy it.
It's not for sale.
Name one thing in this world that is not negotiable.
That bill on top looks real to me. The car wash letters and front structure have gone from blue to green, and that's the first time we've seen this sign. I can't tell if the A1A was done digitally.
Hey, Walt, it's me.
Here's another credits Easter egg. That's Moira right there. And as a joke, she had a gun, meth, cash, and pills in her purse. She has some funny outtakes that I'll show at the end. This was the third and final episode directed by Rian Johnson of Star Wars, Looper, and Knives Out fame. The only reason this happened was they ran out of time for Vince to direct the last 2 episodes, so it opened up the opportunity and Moira wanted him. Guillermo del Toro wanted to direct this episode, but Ryan was not about to give it up.
Hey, Marie. I haven't seen you for a while. What have you been up to?
Practicing her Minnesota accent.
Oh, you know, this and that. Your mom and I need to talk. I got a call from Hank. He arrested Walt 3 hours ago. It's over. Dead to rights, I believe is the expression. Hank is booking Walt as we speak.
You sure about that?
Sorry, that was inappropriate.
There has got to be hope for you. That whatever he did to you can be undone. You are my sister. I will support you through this. But I have conditions. I want you to give me every single copy of that obscenity that the two of you made to discredit Hank.
Sorry, Marie, but the DVD is already out on YouTube, so there's no unringing that bell.
Don't dry your eyes and get Flynn in here.
No, he cannot. No.
You tell him, or I will.
Please, I told you where to find the tape. No one else knows about it. Just me and his partner.
Marie knows, so kudos to Jessie for saving her life. The mobile lab equipment Jessie helped design is there. That's a very Gus-like shot of Jessie's face.
Let's cook.
Let's cook.
Why would you go along?
I'll be asking myself that for the rest of my life.
This is bullshit.
Baby.
I want to talk to Dad.
Your dad's in custody. You won't be able to talk to him for a while.
I'm calling Uncle Hank.
I've tried. He's not answering. Try to breathe.
Really?
Just take the kids home. Okay, go home.
Who's going to run the car wash? Is Mariano around? This shot is a callback to season 3. Both times, Skyler's on her way home and surprised to see Walt in the house.
If all this is true and you knew about it, then you're as bad as him.
Whose truck is that?
Here you can see a tarp that hides the crew and equipment. You can see the camera there.
Dad? I need you to come inside and pack right now.
They say that you're some kind of drug dealer?
No, just come inside.
They normally hide it better, but you can see where the first digit of the 4-digit real-life house number hangs. This is a doll in this shot and even this shot, which explains the awkward head movement.
Why are you here?
Will you just go get your things?
Hank had you in custody. Where's Hank?
I negotiated.
Negotiated?
Yes. Everything is going to be fine, but we need to leave right now. All right? Can we do that?
Where is Hank?
Why do we need to leave?
I promise I will explain everything later.
Where is Hank?
Skyler, I have $11 million in cash right outside. We can have a fresh start. Whole new lives. We have to go right now. That's all we have to do.
You killed him. You killed Hank.
What?
You killed
No! I tried to save him!
Originally, this line was going to be delivered like he's still trying to manipulate them, but Bryan decided to try it this way, which was perfect. Vince said it's like his facade cracked, much like the ground cracked in the desert.
Uncle Hank is dead.
No.
But Walt's the boy who cried wolf here. Why would she ever believe him, even if he is often a terrible liar?
Everything's gonna be okay, but we need to leave right now.
Dad, what?
Skyler has a choice to make. Will she finally report him to the police, or will she choose violence? She chose violence. This is an intentional callback to season 2, as Walt grabbed the same knife when he was worried about Tuco coming to the house.
Skyler, put the knife down, please.
Get out of here. Now.
Skyler.
Get out!
They had a great take where the painting fell off the wall, but they couldn't use it because it didn't match the rest of the cuts. This second plate is implied to have fallen based on the sound effect, but in the next shot it's still hanging. Most of this fight is Bryan and Anna, but this shot is stunt people, as well as this shot where you get a glimpse of Walt from Wish.
What the hell is wrong with you? We're a family! What are you doing?
I need the police. My dad, he put a knife on my mom. He attacked her. He's dangerous. I think he might have killed somebody. 308 Negro Royal Lane. Oh,
God, God, no. Oh my God, no.
No mother should ever experience this, let alone twice.
Give me my baby! Marie! No.
This is really subtle, but Anna's mouth doesn't match her words.
No! Let her go! Let her go!
And here you can hear her screaming while her face isn't. And you can once again see this is not Bryan Cranston. It hailed during this part, so they had to wait for it to stop and melt before continuing. The street sign is showing the real street name of Piermont Drive rather than Negra Arroyo Lane. Sometimes they replace it, but I guess they felt it was too small here.
Next order of business is to get you a brand new car seat.
This shouldn't surprise you, but the mama was an ad-lib by the baby, and Bryan just went with it because it fit perfectly. The baby, whose name is Moira like the episode's writer, was looking at her mom behind Bryan.
Amber Alert. Holly White. Female, 18 months.
Holly should have just had her first birthday 2 weeks ago, knowing everything we know about the Breaking Bad timeline. The pilot was 18 months ago.
Using handcuffs.
Skyler, it's me. Pick up.
Start a trace on a landline.
Skyler.
505-177-8.
I know you're there.
The phone number they give is different from what we previously saw, but maybe they've changed their number.
Where's Holly?
What the hell is wrong with you? Why can't you do one thing, I say? This is what comes of your disrespect. I warned you for a solid year. You cross me, there will be consequences.
In case it wasn't obvious, Walt knows the police must be listening and is performing for the sake of clearing Skyler's name. He also did this in his confession tape, even with a similar Walt is acting voice.
My wife had no idea of my criminal activities.
Maybe now you'll use your damn head.
They hung the string of lights along the road to make this shot more interesting.
You were never grateful for anything I did for this family. You're always whining and complaining about how I make my money. You have to stop this. It's immoral. It's illegal. Just dragging me down while I do everything.
And I think this is the moment Skyler figured it out.
You stupid bitch. How dare you?
I'm sorry.
And now Walt knows that she knows. Bryan's acting here makes this my favorite part of the episode.
I built this. Me alone. Nobody else.
If you didn't see his face and didn't know the backstory, you'd think he was being cold-blooded. Vince said that this scene and the laughing in the crawl space were the only two scenes where he worried if they could pull it off. But of course, Bryan nailed both.
Toe the line, or you will wind up just like Hank.
Where is Hank? We need to know.
You're never gonna see Hank again. He crossed me. Family or no, you let that sink in.
Even though Walt's a villain, it is heartbreaking. Confirming Hank's death gives Marie closure. He's probably taking the blame for it because if he implicates Jack, they'd go after his family.
I just want Holly back.
So it is a bit heroic, as everyone, including Junior, will be convinced he murdered Hank. Ironically, the one thing Walt didn't do is what finally destroys his relationship with his family. Many of the shots toward the end of this episode mirror shots from the flashback.
I've still got things left to do.
That's the final one in Breaking Bad.
Oh, yeah.
Who did it best? At least Walt also removes the battery. Right after he moves this king, it snaps back to the previous spot. More importantly, they purposely made the chessboard in a state where the white king cannot win, echoing once again the fallen king theme. That part is confirmed. People have drawn additional parallels with the other pieces and Jesse, Todd, and Jack, but that's a bit too deep for my brain. This fireman is Benny Rietveld, the bass player for Santana and a fan of the show. And this one is Ryan's friend, Noah Segan. He starred in Looper and Brick and appeared in almost every one of his movies, even The Last Jedi. Somebody give that baby an Emmy. Ah, we know what Walt's up to thanks to the location. And if you look closely, you can see snow in just this one shot. The recurring disappears storyline finally pays off. There's the camera reflected again. This is not really a stray dog. They planned this and hired Banjo the Wonder Dog for this stunt. It completes the problem dog, rabid dog, stray dog triad. Congratulations and thanks to Xylery, who just joined the 1-year members.
Hell yeah!
Congratulations and thanks to Dante, The Raid Was Boring So Now I Have to Do It Myself, Rye Guy, Ulesh, Jay Springman, Ripper557, Rock Gremlin, A Pork Chop Guy, Paul Boyle, and W11, who just became
6-month members.
Shout out to Carson Castle, who's the first to join my Patreon that I've never told anyone about. And now say hi to the record-breaking number of new members: Kostadin Raichev, Button Bob 08, 22 Caliber, W. Lua, Alec L, Grady Hamilton, Barnabas Sardi, Jason Flex, Togogigo 11, Jaden Phoenix, Quaijibo, Rice, Schizophrenic Tyrant, Solarverse Studios, Mason Coward, Johnny Boy 07, Bryce Shaddix, Undead Pixel, Chippy Knopf, Lots of Really Wide Dashes, Scary Ghost, Cole Bryant, Chicken Wing 11, Sask Dutter, Aoi Roslin, Cannon, Grayson Graham, Pants, Alex McCune, Vincent Brower, D. Mills, Sawyer, Jose Alonso Suarez, Avgas Kool-Aid, Daniel Sherwood, Master of Dun, Giancarlo Volpe, Cristiano Bunt, Holy Chipmunk, Giant Magician, Alski, Tinglewing, SC, Pawa, Dizzy P, Dilly Biker, Marijuano, Rad Circles, Misael Tavares, Goob, Loose on the Goose, Payne, Flav, Silver, Danielle Nerosian, Nate2187, Brawl Boring, Niels Kohlenbrander, Zen Void, Nips, J. Hardy Carroll, Dr. Scudworth, Jacob, Merturker, Raluca Constantininu, Tidtaba, Megatron, The Reed, Alexander Sinclair, Matt Emselfresh, Ravioli Tomboli, Heitier, Caden Stimson, F-Bog, Mr. K's Presents, GFW Animations, Jick BTW, David DeFranco, Mike Tyler, Cool Skeleton 95, The Codnob 123, Matt, Celty, The Marvelous Matori, Matsubusa Tefora, Jonas, Yordi the Vlogger, Asdi, Eduardo Bueno, Masuni, Grandad, IP vs. TW Wrestling Federation, Skate Tamor, Ark, Kat Goggerman, Septum Spores, Whippet 0909, Liam K, Jimmy Y, Bon Watterson, Antonio G. Huertes, Raw, Rue Nevermore, Merwidia, Paul, Crystal Kobold, Chuck Kirkle, 1232EZ, Carter Benoit, Aiden Lawrence, Subaru Natsuki, Taki, Riley, Charlie Silk, Mayu, Matter147, Ori Zach, Bleonix, Asac Schrader, Sep Normac, Bream VR, Timo Von Cleef, Tommy, 37th U.S. President Richard M. Nixon, Johan, Fed927, Thomas Coops, SG, Beastman 12, Resident Alligator, Liu.org, Joey, Rayson, Liagovos, Aviv Hermansdorf, KNV Studios, Tontish, Canadine, Koja, Dennis, Darren Penner, Slooshy, Aiden666 2.0, Fabian, Nicole Benzer, Tech Support Dan, Dean Scarda, Merrifield 69, Bubba Donacho, Conman Albuquerque, Tavini 1, Behind Glass, Ectoblade, Creamy Bingus, Protein, Zeketh, Magic Johnson, Ryan Kelly, Deca Fate, Paul White II, Joe McStinky, LNM, Dennis Marquez, Chastafari, Zeki, Untitled Torch, Cuddles Like Pie, Relay, Kermody, and Luke McGinnis. Thanks to all of you joining, we have a new emoji slot, but I need suggestions again. Next week, we reach the penultimate episode and visit New Hampshire.
Hey, Walt. It's me again. I just thought I'd try you.
Okay, sorry, I'm sorry. Back to one. Moira, you can't look directly at the camera and without anything. Okay, back to one. Here we go. Roll.
Oh, so rogue
Here we go. Let's take that from one. Let's take that back.
You don't like to just sit there and not say anything?
No rolling. Gonna reset.
I liked it. I could feel his breath on my earlobe.
Resetting the barrel.
Put me into a coma. What else? Not in here.
What?
You forgot to take the cigarette.
Well, you forgot the line. What'd you say? What's happening?
Oh my God.
You're still rolling, right? It is what I'm at.
You're doing that on purpose.
No, I'm not. I'm actually trying to find it. Hold on.
This is
I have
all
so
good
much
stuff.
in there.
This is all good stuff. It's really good.
Hold on.
He's gonna use it all.
Okay.
Still rolling?
What?